It's the year 2050 and the term "OK Millennial" is trending. What are the reasons the young generation is using it? They won't stop making edgy suicide jokes. Grandma, my pet fish died. God, I wish that was me. Oh man, so if "I hate my wife" jokes were replaced with suicide jokes, what will replace that? Boomers, wife bad. Millennials, life bad. When whatever smartphones become are implanted in our eyes, our generation will be like, I just like the feel of a real phone. You know, I'm not getting that shit ever for two reasons. First, I don't want the government inside my head, and second, and more importantly, I don't want some greedy megacorporation inside my head. Okay, millennial. Same here. I love the idea of internet implants. But there is no way the core will be able to resist sucking out our thoughts and replacing them with ads. And that shit's gonna be proprietary as hell, so you can't install a clean OS. Dude, imagine being in the middle of a conversation, then you get an ad. Too poor to pay for the premium implant, huh? The iPhone. You're dead when your body dies. Period. You're not real anymore. You're just some damn digital fantasy who thinks you're still that person. Well, that got fucking dark. Or, unusually hopeful. Sounds like a future with digitized immortality. Hopefully we colonize other planets with that population growth. Though, either that, or since the immortality is digital anyway, you just die and go to a simulation. Okay millennial. Backquote, I have no mouth and I must shit backquote. But now you can be lesbian. I remember the good old days when we used keyboard and mouse or a controller. Kids these days can't live a day without using brainwave controls. You mean you have to use your hands? That's like a baby's toy. It'll pretty much be like that, I think. Elijah Wood was right. See, in the good old days, my thumbs had blisters on them from hard-cornered plastic. The controllers today are absolutely better than the ones I had as a kid. I can't imagine ever turning into a back-in-my-day person. The world today is so much cooler. All that generation wants to do is marry the sex robots, and it's disgusting. Robosexuality is a sin. I'd rather make out with my man-robot. It will probably be us telling them every new technological advance is just a new way for the government and companies to spy on them. Even if the laws change and you do have more privacy, I feel like our generation will always be suspicious. The anxious generation. But genuinely, I think that really does sum up this generation. Greater than I feel like our generation will always be suspicious. In my opinion. Rightfully so. Late millennials and early Gen Z were the kids science fiction authors like Asimov were writing about. They came into their age with the same accessibility to major technological innovation as their governments. Their governments inevitably got ahead of them, but not far enough ahead that those governments would get caught red-handed every once in a while. Now they're beginning to pull away from the populace. And the next generation will only ever have known a world of broad domestic surveillance. It won't seem bad to them because that's the way the world has always been in their eyes. One of them will call one of us stupid right under a street camera neither of them knew was there. Okay millennial. I feel like my generation is going to be very against AI rights, and AI civil rights will be the issue of the future. I could easily see older versions of my generation being like, no, you can't marry that AI. Marriage is between two people. Robots are not people. An if-else if statement can't love you. Okay millennial. It's those damn robots that took my job. I have every right to hate them. Shut up dad. Stop being such a mechist. This shit kinda scares me tbh. I know that a lot of people who participated in the civil rights movement, people who were progressives back in the day, don't support same-sex marriage if only because they were raised in a much different era and it just doesn't seem right to them. As for me, I'm tolerant of people regardless of race, sexual orientation, gender identity, etc. But I seriously worry sometimes that in my future, there will be a similar social movement that I won't be on board with, and suddenly I'll be that crotchety old man who can't accept that the year is 2060 and people can get married to robots if they want. Damn it. I tell myself I should keep an open mind toward anything and everything going forward. But I can't help but worry that I'll end up on the wrong side of history. Time makes fools of us all. We can't stop posting 90s kids memes on Instagram. Which at that point is the Facebook of our generation. Okay millennial. Lol. You think Instagram will last that long? With the deprecation rate of social networks, we'll probably have gone through another 1 to 3 big ones. Yeah, but by then we'll be too old and uneducated to adapt to these new flashy holographic 4D real-time social media, so we'll be stuck on Instagram from what we'll most likely be calling the golden age of social media by then. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You mean Reddit will be the Facebook cowboy hat face? Car ownership and driving will die with self-driving cars, fucking millennials running over everyone with their cars. And I'll have my dad's ancient truck. Crazy to think of a fucking 2010 Ford Focus being seen as a classic car. Right now, with self-driving vehicles around the corner, I think it's just a matter of time before we get a country song where the singer's truck leaves them. 2. Today, fucking boomers with their houses they afforded with a janitor job. 2050, fucking millennials all inheriting their houses from their grandparents. Oh thank God. You just reminded me that I will, in fact, own a house one day after my parents die. And Gen A, B, C will be bitching about how millennials all live to be 150 now because of all the genetic life extension technology. So there's still no houses for them. Us having to explain that we got up for school 5 AM and would have to wait in the cold for a sh*** Thai bus. And now you pricks can just teleport. No teleporting, school is a daily download into your brain. It takes 2 minutes, unless you're a poor scrub that can only afford the government-subsidized gigabit broadband. In my day we had to sit in class and pay attention for 6 hours leaving out the part where we didn't actually pay attention. Some big catastrophic event happens. Millennials, Mayor. The Simpsons predicted it 40 years ago. Younger gen, okay, millennial. Millennial, I used to be with it. But then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it anymore, and what's it seems weird and scary. It'll happen to you. Younger gen. Okay millennial. I feel like in the best timeline our kids are gonna say okay millennial when we're old and can't shake being hyper suspicious. And going off the handle about having to rise up and fight for every damn thing. Even though it's not necessary anymore. Old me, don't trust your boss. They're always trying to screw you. Keep meticulous paper trails, and if they ask you to do something make sure you're keeping track of any overtime, and for the love of God don't ever sign anything. ... Okay millennial. Record every conversation. Check every bill for phony charges. We will still be meme addicted, but we'll be still using the memes that should have been lost and forgotten. Tide comes in. Tide goes out. You can't explain that. You thought this meme was dead. NOOOOPE Chuck Tester. No one will get it and everyone will be rolling their eyes at us. My dad references obscure nonsensical shit from the 60s to 80s all the damn time. I will become the dad that references obscure nonsensical shit from 2000 to 2010s. My son will become part of the BrainBook collective consciousness powered by AWS. All your base belong to us. Badger, badger, badger. They do not realize that in the days before the invention of the hypnopillow, it was possible to not get a perfect night's sleep every time. And I will burn the city to cinders before I allow my daughter to marry Conceptual Identity Matrix 69T as her second co-wife. Esoteric constructs are not people. Silly millennial. All cities are made of hyper-polycarbon nano-utility fog. They wouldn't burn if you hit them with a full-power nickel Dyson beam. Back in my day, a townhouse cost $600,000 and a college degree only earned you $12 per hour. And everyone made fun of us, saying that we were lazy and emotionally fragile, but it was the boomers' fault. Okay, millennial. Probably the most accurate. They'll see the old fuck-ups that we weren't able to fix or made it substantially worse in our attempts to fix it. Also, with how the world is going, we will be blamed for the next big war or for not stopping, intervening with increasingly economic, militarily aggressive foreign powers. You think it's that far away? The first millennials will be 40 in less than 2 years. 1981 crew represent. Epstein didn't kill himself. Okay millennial. Stop being pedophobic old fart. Greater than attention. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer linked to asbestos exposure. Exposure to asbestos in the Navy, shipyards, mills, heating, construction or the automotive industries may put you at risk. Please don't wait. Call 1-800-99-LAW-USA today for a free legal consultation and financial information packet. Mesothelioma patients call now. 1-800-99-LAW-USA. Okay millennial. Grandpa, why did you keep sucking on that jewel that led to your breathing problems? There weren't any long-term studies. I didn't know. Okay millennial.